Coach's Corner is your source. Baseball, football, soccer, and hoops. The Coach's Corner has the scoop. It's the Coach's Corner with Andy.
Covering Tri-State sports, it's the Coach's Corner with Andy on 92.1 The GOAT.
It's the Coach's Corner.
I'm Andy, and I have Chad here with me. Chad Hartman. He's the coach of Boonsboro High School Flag Football Team. How are you doing today, Chad?
Good. Thanks, Andy.
Good to have you on. So you are the coach of the flag football team at Boonsboro. It's your guys' first season. It's your inaugural season, correct?
Correct.
And you guys currently stand at 6-0. You're undefeated, right?
7-0 since the last time
7-0.
I think we talked. Yeah, so we had a game last night against North Hagerstown, and
Awesome.
we ended up beating them 25-14.
Nice. So when do the playoffs officially start for flag football?
So we have one more week of regular season. We play Smithsburg next week, which they've only got one loss, and that's a loss that they got from us earlier in the year. And then based on that, the seedings will be completed, and then we will start playoffs the following Monday.
Cool. All right. Well, good luck to you guys. I think you'll be okay. It seems like you guys are a pretty good team. So what I want to ask you, Chad, is how did you fall into the position of being the flag football coach at Boonsboro? What's your background in coaching look like? How long have you been a coach?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, I've been coaching youth sports for, well over 20 years. I have an older son who's 20 years old. I have an older daughter that's 18 years old, just started this year at Shepherd University playing softball. Then I have a freshman daughter who's on my team, and I also have a 10-year-old. So it doesn't seem like I'll be going away anytime soon either. Not that I have to coach my kids. I mean, I'm a true believer in not playing daddy ball. But I do love coaching youth sports. I've coached everything from soccer to baseball to softball to basketball. And it's just part of the way our family, that's how we live. I mean, my wife is the same way. She's very much involved in our basketball programs. We run the elementary and the middle school programs here locally in Boonsboro. And now she's also going to be joining the coaching staff here at Boonsboro High School basketball, girls basketball. So we'll both be involved in the girls basketball program from elementary all the way through high school. So it's just part of our lives.
That's awesome. You said you coached a little bit of soccer. Where'd you coach recreational wise for soccer?
Here in the Boonsboro area, we have an AYSO league that's a very good league. It starts out rec in town here, and then it kind of, as the kids get older, expands to some travel. But, it's when I say travel, I mean local travel. We go into Frederick County, Montgomery County, and play some teams. But, all of my children have tried soccer. Right now, the only one is that my youngest who's kind of sticking with it.
Yeah, it's definitely an acquired like for soccer. It can be, from what I've heard, as you get into the competitive age, it can be boring for some. But I enjoy soccer. I coach my daughter. The reason I asked was I coach at Hazel. I coach at the Hagerstown Area Youth Soccer League. So I'm very familiar with the Boonsboro AYSO as well. I think once the kids move up to U9 division, I think they play each other occasionally.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, my daughter plays soccer. My youngest wants to as well, so we'll see if they stick with it. I played growing up, but baseball was my true love. I tried my hand in basketball, and I wasn't very good.
Well, we have that in common. I mean, I dabbled in football up until my freshman year in high school, and then I was 4'9", 100 pounds, soaking wet, and it just wasn't going to be for me. So I played 4 years of high school soccer, but baseball was my sport as well. I went and played collegiately at West Virginia State University down in Charleston, West Virginia. I played there for 2 years, got hurt, wanted to get closer to home, reached out to Shepherd. I ended up playing my last 2 years at Shepherd University. So, so I got to kind of live out the whole college baseball dream. So that was kind of fun as well.
That's awesome. Your daughter plays at Shepherd. She's a freshman this year, right? I'm actually going to talk with her later this week.
Yeah, she told me. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
super excited. They had a couple fall games this year. They played the Mount, they played Shenandoah. Haley got some significant playing time, so I'm hoping to be able to come spring, watch her compete. She's been playing for a long time, and it's kind of the fruits of her labor. They've come true, and she's getting to play collegiate softball now.
Yeah, that's really cool. I was a Shepherd graduate as well. I graduated. Gee, don't ask me the year. I can't remember, but I know I graduated. All right, so let's get back to the flag football team here. So you have one game left against Smithsburg coming up. If you guys make it to the championship game, it's going to be played at one of your favorite team's fields. Is that correct?
That's right. So the way it's working right now, playoffs are we'll get a bye on Monday locally. We'll play the winner of the 3-6 seed game on Wednesday, the 6th. If we win that game, we go to the championship game for our county. But if you make the championship game, the top 2 teams from the county go down and get to play at Ravens Stadium on November the 8th. Cool. So even if we just make it to the championship game, we get to sign our ticket to go down and play at the stadium.
That's awesome. That's going to be an experience. I'm assuming being a Ravens fan, you've been there, right? Have you ever been down on the field?
I had season tickets for when they first came to Baltimore, even in Memorial Stadium. Once I started having a family, I had to kind of get rid of those. I did do a fanfare event where we were down on the field, so that was one time. And then I didn't tell you about this yet, but on November 3rd, the Ravens play Denver Broncos. Myself and 5 of my players are going to do the halftime relay race event.
Oh, cool.
They're doing that to promote girls flag football. So we will have field passes before the game, and then we get to compete against another high school at halftime.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Did you want to highlight some of your players from this season and talk about them for a little bit?
Yeah, certainly. I mean, honestly, it's I know every coach says this. It's been a huge team effort. Mm-hmm. But if I was to kind of to say who's kind of risen to the top, I'd have to touch on all my seniors: Annabelle Fletcher, Becca Michael John, Casey Bittner. Oh my goodness.
I put you on the spot.
Yeah, you put me on the spot there. Morgan Cook. Sorry, I forgot Morgan. These 4 seniors have been great. I mean, honestly, I didn't know what to expect. You had 4 seniors who were heading into their last year. They could have easily rode off into the sunset. When we had tryouts, we were a very freshman-dominated group of people. I mean, because it's a group of girls. So I wasn't sure how it was going to work. But these 4 young ladies have just been amazing leaders. They've kind of just shown the way. Annabelle Fletcher is my starting quarterback. She's done an amazing job of just picking up and running the offense. We had our very first interception last night, but I mean, that was her first interception of the year. And it was honestly because someone hit her arm as she was throwing. And then, Becca Michael John, just super speedy, super long, can catch anything. Morgan Cook, same thing. She's kind of my go across the middle, get open in space and just be there as a relief valve. She's done that very well all year. And then Casey Bittner, she doesn't run offense for us, but she's my outside linebacker. I knew this girl was going to be something when she was stealing flags out of my bag to take home so she could practice flag pulling with her dad in the backyard. So all of them have stepped up tremendously this year. And again, not a daddy ball guy, but I get yelled at a lot for not giving recognition to my daughter. And she's definitely my buddies ask me all the time, "How's Miley doing?" And I tell them I just one little sentence. I say she's my human cheat code. I mean, she can wing the football 30 to 40 yards down the field and hit somebody on the run. She's thrown 9 touchdowns already this year. She's not my QB1, but if we get to 3rd and long, or if we get to a situation where I know the D-backs on the other team are biting a little bit on the run, I'll just look out there and say, "AB, Miley, switch," and they just, without a drop of a dime, they switch positions. AB runs the wide out, Miley quarterbacks, and we look for the deep ball. And that's really helped us all year.
Yeah, that's awesome. Probably a big reason why you're 7-0. So, is there an art to pulling flags? You said one of your players practiced flag pulling with her dad at home. Is there a certain art to doing that? Or I'm assuming the flags are just Velcroed on, correct?
They're like a little suction cup.
Okay.
But, I will say this. I reached out to, I'm friends with Michael Franklin, who coached Middletown last year. Middletown won state championships last year for flag football. So I reached out to him and said, hey, man, what do you think? Give me some advice? And he did say, Chad, he said, as much as you think you got to concentrate on offense, for the most important thing is to concentrate on flag pulling. You miss a flag, a girl gets 5-10 extra yards every time. So from day one, we've been doing flag pulling drills, and we do at least 10 to 15 minutes of flag pulling drills every day, whether it be a girl running right at you, whether it be you pursuing a girl on a side, you name it. We've tried to put them in situations where, we try to pull the flags. And it has been, like I said, our outside linebackers have been great of getting girls in the backfield by just not letting them spin or move or put a juke on them. And it's helped us tremendously.
That's great. I was wondering that when we were getting ready, we were discussing getting together, and I was putting together my notes. Because when you think flag football, I automatically think gym class in high school, because that's what we played, because we weren't allowed to hit each other. But I know I've seen flag football played at a professional level. They have the team for a team that's going to be playing for the Olympics as well. So I knew there was more of an art to it than just going out and having fun, which is the most important factor, is to have fun. But it's interesting. It's interesting to look into. So as you said, Middletown won the state championship last year. Obviously, flag football is already up in that Frederick County area, and now down in Washington County. Do you think it'll spread it to anywhere else next year?
I hope so. I also believe there's some Montgomery County schools that have also picked up flag football. I'm a little worried. I mean, the Ravens' money kind of runs out in the next year. I think actually this year is the last year that we're kind of being funded by the Ravens. So it's definitely something that the counties are going to have to pick up and fund and budget. I do think we're a low budget type of sport. I think, now that we have a full set of uniforms, that's usually like a 3 to 4 year thing. We can use the same uniforms. Flags are easy to come by. We already have enough of those. Footballs, and if you have those things, you can play a game. Yeah. Of course, transportation and refs, that costs money as well. So yeah, I mean, I'm one of the main reasons I wanted to talk to you today. I want to totally promote this sport. It is an amazing event for these young ladies. They get to learn so much about the game of football, and the fans seem to enjoy it. I mean, there's a lot of fanfare around it. I know the local Herald Mail here in Washington County has reached out to me, and we've done a feature on Boonsboro as well. So yes, as much as I can do to promote, hopefully when the county has to make those decisions about funding, they see it as a viable option for another sport for Washington County, and also hopefully Frederick and Montgomery County continue to do as well.
Just from hearing through the grapevine, I mean, it sounds like a popular sport within high school. One, a lot of people, I've talked to some of the other Washington County coaches around the area, as well as athletic directors, and they've all had positive things to say about it, and no negative things. The biggest one being what you mentioned, the equipment is easy to come by. Mainly the uniforms. So the girls don't wear any like smaller shoulder pads or anything like that, right? It's just the uniform and the flag.
Nope. The only things they care about are shirts tucked in, flags to the side, and everyone wears a mouthpiece. And we try to avoid, because there has been situations this year where girls have maybe done a spin move and bumped heads or something. So anything we can do to avoid concussions or anything. So mouthpieces are required, but again, those are a dime a dozen when it comes to equipment.
Right. Exactly. So let's talk a little bit about the Ravens. So I'm a Commanders fan, and the Ravens beat the Commanders last week, which most people expected, I feel like. I mean, how can you not? I don't understand how they're not undefeated with Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and that high-powered offense, as well as they have one of the best run defenses in the league, if not the best. What did you think about the past couple of weeks and how they've been playing? They just got another big victory. Was it Monday night? Yeah, Monday night against the Bucs.
Yeah, I mean, again, our offense, it's unbelievable, right? Having the dual threat, Lamar Jackson, be able to, looks like he just flicks his wrist. He can throw the ball 40 yards downfield, and he always has that availability to run. Getting Derrick Henry now and having his ability to, that read option where you fake it to Derrick Henry. Everyone has to watch Derrick Henry because if you don't watch him, he's going to get 5 yards before you even see him. And now with Bateman and Zay Flowers are coming into their own. We've always been that team that could run, but we never really had good wide receivers. Seems like we always had that one veteran that could kind of keep us in games, but we never had that young talent that could go downfield and catch footballs. And I think we have that now with Flowers and with Bateman. Our big, I mean, again, this is my opinion. We just can't play defense for a full 4 quarters. Even against Tampa Bay the other night, we had them beat by 3 or 4 touchdowns and let them come back and make it a game. I think the game ended up like 41-30.
Yeah, it was close.
And I see teams going out and improving their wide receiver core. I just saw today that the Chiefs went out and got DeAndre Hopkins. And I think that's our gap is we just have trouble covering receivers downfield. We stop the run. That's great. But if we can't stop the pass, that's how teams are going to get back into ball games. And I think that's what we're seeing in the fourth quarters is we're stopping the run. They're going away from the run. They're starting to pass and they're hitting our little white rat. They're finding our hole, and that's killing us right now.
Yeah. Welcome to my world as a Commanders fan. Our secondary has been sketchy the past couple of years, and I wish they never address it, or they address it to like the most minimal way you can. And but they did all right in the last game. But again, Carolina. I mean, did anybody really expect him to come out of there with a loss? No. But
Jaden Daniels is the future. As being a local here, I usually watch the Ravens games and I usually watch the Commanders games, and he reminds me a ton of Lamar Jackson. He has a great arm, and they say his work ethic is just out of this world. The cool thing is he uses like VR to run through the playbook, which is like because I work for Microsoft, I'm a techie, so whenever I hear about these guys using technology to improve their game, I think it's just super cool. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice to finally have that position secure. I hope they don't rush him back into things too much with his injury. I know I heard it's only minimal with his ribs, but I don't need another RG3 situation. But yeah, I love watching Derrick Henry play. I liked watching him play in Tennessee, and then now watching him play in Baltimore. I was surprised. I wasn't expecting Henry to become a Raven. I honestly thought Dallas. I thought that's where he would land. Dallas being Dallas, trying to go for the biggest person in free agency. And then when I read the headline that Henry signed with the Ravens, my first thought was, well, they're going to win the division. Yeah. Definitely win the division. But yeah, if they shore up that defense a little bit in the secondary, maybe a championship run. Just please go and don't let the Chiefs go. That's all I ask.
That's the key.
Well, Chad, hey, it's been fun hanging out here today. Thank you for coming on the Coach's Corner. And we'll have you back on here to talk maybe about the girls basketball team, the JV team over at Boonsboro coming up soon.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach@921thegoat.com.